Good afternoon. The paper I will present is titled, as you can see there, An In-Situ Study of Mobile Search and App Interactions, and it is the result of a research conducted by, as you already said, Carrascal and myself at Yahoo Labs. So in order to explain our goals, let me introduce Katie and her partner, Peter. One day after work, Katie is hungry, so she chats with Peter about where to go for dinner. They decide to go for tapas, so she searches for a good place nearby. She finds this very nice place called Lolo, and Peter then wants to know where it is. So she searches again for the location of this place, and then she sends it to Peter, and they agree to meet there. 10 minutes later, there they are. So this is an example of how often we need to rely on a number of transitions between apps and mobile search in order to satisfy our mobile needs, mobile information needs. These type of needs are usually triggered by some type of daily event, for example, such as feeling hungry. And after we find the information we are looking for, we frequently do some kind of action, like visiting a restaurant. So with our work, what we wanted to understand is first, how mobile search and mobile app activities interact, and second, what are some common triggers and mobile search of mobile search and actions that are taken after search. So to do so, we conducted a study with 18 participants with an average age of 32.7. 8 of them were females. All of them were living in the greater San Francisco Bay Area. They had diverse occupation and education levels. All of them were Android users, and most of them were users of Samsung Galaxy devices. We used a mixed methodology that included an initial interview in which we asked participants about their device use, their app usage, their app arrangement patterns, and also about mobile search. We asked them on recent mobile searches that they have conducted, and we asked them about the triggers and actions for those searches. We also, by the end of this interview, we installed 2 applications on their mobiles. The first one was app logging application, which basically kept track of all the app launches, the duration of usage of each app. The second app was a Yahoo mobile search prototype, which logged all the queries entered by the user, all the clicks, and a range of mobile sensor data. During this part of the study, participants also completed an online diary, and we asked them for contextual information about certain searches that they had done during every day. At the end of the study, we conducted a final interview to clarify some of the diary entries and also to ask them about search triggers and action of some of their searches, and a bit about their interaction with apps. We collected over 54,000 app launches from almost 400 unique Android apps. And we found that participants use their mobiles for 4 hours per day on average. In terms of mobile search, we logged over 800, almost 900 unique queries through the mobile search app, and 2,700 2,700 web pages visits. We also collected 535 total entries in the online diary, and we recorded over 20 hours of interviews with our participants. From both the diary and the interviews, we collected around, we extracted from that around over 3,000 individual quotes. To analyze the data, I first would like you to show you this figure. It represents an hour of actual use of one of our participants. If you see at the different color bands, you're going to notice that the gray bands represent the times when the display of the mobile phone was off. The green bands are moments when the participant interacted with the phone but without launching any particular app. So maybe for checking the time on the home screen or something like this. Blue bands are application launches, individual application launches, and yellow bands are the launches of our mobile search app. In order to analyze this data, we defined these types of sessions. First, device sessions are the sequences of interactions with the device without it going into stand-up mode for more than 30 seconds. So 30 seconds was our divider between sessions. App sessions are device sessions in which at least one app has been launched. And app sessions can be of two types. Search sessions, which are those in which the participant actually interacted with the mobile search app, and non-search sessions, which are when the participant didn't interact with the mobile search. So if we go back to the figure, we can identify that there are a number of app sessions. And the first one, which is labeled over there at the left, is a non-search session. There was no search whatsoever in that session. And there's another session over there with including the yellow bands, which is actually a search session. There are also several non-search sessions all over the place. To analyze the data, we basically started by categorizing the logged app launches and search queries. And we compared app launches between search, the number of app launches between search and non-search sessions. And we also compared the application launches on a per category basis before and after search activity. For the diary and for all the qualitative data, we analyzed it by means of a grounded theory affinity analysis. These are our results. When we compared search and non-search sessions, we found that they are actually indeed different. We found that search sessions involve more than 2 times as many app launches as non-search sessions, on average. We also found that search sessions involve over 2 times as many unique app usages than non-search sessions. We finally found that search sessions are almost 4 times longer than non-search sessions. If we dig a little bit deeper into that, we found that several app categories were more intensively used when people are engaged in search activity. And this higher usage manifests both in app launches and in duration of use. In this slide, I am showing just 5 app categories in which the difference was stronger, but there are more app categories that also display a difference. In terms of app use before and after mobile search, we found that several app categories were launched significantly with higher frequency after mobile search than before mobile search. And again, I am showing just the first 5 most categories where the difference was most prominent, but there are more. In terms of triggers, we identified common types of triggers for mobile search. First, we found 2 broad categories. The external triggers, which are basically refer to sensory stimuli, like stuff that we can touch or see or hear. While the internal triggers refer to our inner thoughts, our feelings, emotions, to our own body or habits. And the external triggers can be broken down into 4 categories, which are media, such as watching TV or listening to music or to radio, conversation that can be face-to-face or also through a messaging app, tangible, such as physical objects that we might find in our surroundings, and activity and events such as holidays. Finally, we also found that internal triggers can be of 2 types. The physiological, which are signals like being hungry or feeling stressed or thirsty, and the state of mind, for for instance, random thoughts or when something pops in our mind. We found anecdotal evidence of app interactions that may result in triggering a mobile search. There are 2 examples here. There are many more in our data set, but in this first one, there was a person who was using Google Maps, and after that, this person went to search maybe for details about a nearby place. In the second case, the participant was using the Macy's app, and she went to search maybe for details about a specific product. In terms of post-search actions, we identified 9 types of actions that commonly take place after mobile search. These actions are consuming content, sharing information, keeping information in several ways like note-taking, bookmarking, buying a good or service, booking something such as hotel reservation, visiting a place, and contacting a person or a business, and making or doing something like trying a recipe or playing a song in an instrument. We also found several examples in which the action after a mobile search was the launch the launch and use of a mobile app. These are a couple of examples again. So in the first case, the person was looking for a number, and he ended up using the phone to call to this place. And in the second case, the person was looking for something related to Mohawk warriors, and he ended up sharing an image on Facebook. And we also found that this is probably the most interesting part, in which we found some more complex interactions between apps and mobile search. For instance, this person wanted to get good deals when buying tickets for concerts. So this person just looped back and forth between Ticketmaster and Groupon, so she could find the codes for discount, and then she went back to Ticketmaster, and then she kept like looping a bit until she found a good deal. This other case is also very interesting. This was a woman who was communicating with her sister because they wanted to go for some place for vacation. So they were both searching in parallel, and they shared the information that they were searching together. So they were like doing some joint research. Some of the implications of our study. First, well, it's very important to notice that we identified some mobile users' behaviors that go beyond single app usage. And we think that the overarching theme here is task completion. A user does not necessarily want to open one app or the other, Ticketmaster, Groupon, for instance. The user wants to get concert tickets at a good price. That's the task. Another user don't want to use mobile search and then open a Voxer app. She wants to engage into a collaborative search activity, and then have the possibility to share the results with another person. So we think that users need to have access to multiple sources of information to take appropriate post-search actions. We think this presents opportunities, for instance, for search engines, because it's important to take into account app interactions. We found some interesting stuff related to search. The search activity is frequently conducted in a collaborative way with loved ones, with friends, or with family. And search results are very frequently shared in order to take joint decisions or to buy or to make purchases. We also found that users more often than not need to take notes of their findings to keep track of them. They sometimes rely on their memory for this, but they sometimes also take snapshots or use pen and paper or digital notes, and bookmarks, of course. This is sometimes not for personal purposes, but very frequently it is done to share the information with others, which somehow connects back to the sharing part that I just mentioned. And we also found that when satisfying certain specific needs, search activities is sometimes conducted over several sessions that can span multiple, that can take multiple time frames. And this is especially the case when they are searching for bigger stuff, like buying big items such as a car, or when they are planning vacation, which are activities that need more planning, that are more involved and require more research before taking a decision. So this is a summary of what what basically about our implications. We think that there's need for more collaborative search tools that allow sharing and keeping of information, and that can support search activity that could span several time frames. Well, there's some future work, but I think I'm fine. Thank you very much. Of course, I am willing to listen to your questions. Thank you.
Hi, Vasilis Kostakos, University of Oulu. Thank you very much for the nice talk. And looks like you have very interesting data. So my question is about data analysis. And one issue I have, like in my own work when I analyze this data, is how to decide when a session stops. And we end up using arbitrary timeouts. Like I think you use 30 seconds or something like that. So I'm wondering if you can think of a way to try and move beyond that. Is there maybe looking at people's activities and what they do, can you think of a more meaningful way to break up sessions rather than some strict time limit?
Yeah, it's a very good question. Thank you. What we did, we looked a bit on literature, and also we observed our own data set to take a decision on that. But it's actually very interesting that you mentioned that, because precisely in the future work, we mentioned that we would like to work to have first longer time periods, which is not completely related, but a little bit it is. But we also like to focus on cross-session interaction. So maybe that would mean varying the separation between sessions and try to find more interactions if we change that. We had to take a decision, as I told you, based on literature and observing our data set, but there are, of course, many possibilities to continue analyzing the data, yes.
Do you think sessions can overlap in time?
We actually definitely think they can. What we think, I'm coming back here actually, because what we think is that even if sessions don't overlap, the tasks that the users are trying to achieve, which is the really important thing. I mean, more than the low-level activity is what the user actually wants to do, usually takes several sessions that can span multiple time frames. And this is the really important part here.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
From Seoul National University. I want to know the strength that exists between searching and post-searching activities. Let's say the link that exists between searching for certain product and buying that product will tell us the strength, the confidence by which we tell people these things are associated like this. The link that exists between searching and post-searching activities. How did you analyze that they are linked?
Oh, okay. We basically had quantitative data, which we could like estimate what apps were launched afterwards, after a search had taken place. So it could map a little bit on apps, like from a quantitative point of view. But we also took some searches and we asked participants about that.
How many instances in your data set are linked to the post-search activity?
Yes, I understand what you're saying.
For each instance.
Yeah. We had to take a decision on what we consider to be before and what we consider to be after. And it was, we had to take some decisions and some compromises.
You simply analyze the sequence of activities.
Yes, we had a sequence of apps previously and afterwards. Yes. Details are in the paper, of course. Thank you.
I can't